Hello, welcome to Skill Check, the positive gaming podcast from YMCA Exeter. My name's Andy.
And my name is Becky.
And Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
And for, I guess, our YouTube viewers,
Yes.
the setup has changed again. We are in a different corner of the new space.
Yeah.
If we were to look outwards, it's a little bit chaotic here, a little bit chaotic there, and it's definitely chaotic back there. Yeah. But hopefully we come across at least okay.
Yeah. We've just, so like for those of you who don't know, we've moved offices. So we've moved from like just down the road.
We're not Exeter anymore.
Yeah, we're now in the basement. We've gone from the top to the bottom. That might say something about us. We've moved down the road. We're still on the same road,
space,
but we're just down the road, and we're all in one building now. So I have an office in this building as well.
It's quite lovely.
It's nice. It's
very nice. You've seen people.
Yeah, people around.
Not been in a attic. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, what have we got coming up, Andy?
I love how you got there just
I know.
before me.
I thought you were thinking about it.
Oh, totally. So we have Game of the Week.
Nice.
I might have brought some stuff over Christmas.
Okay.
We are talking about something new for 2024.
Yeah.
But before that, we have gaming news. And now, gaming news.
Gaming
what
news.
Have you got for us this week?
Our first piece of gaming news this week is EAFC 24. 24 was the best-selling game of 2023 in the UK. Previously known as FIFA, the Electronic Arts football series ditched the sport's governing body's name after 30 years. It had prompted questions about whether the sales would suffer. The latest title sold 2.25 million copies in the UK. It said that was only slightly below FIFA 23, which sold 2.39 million copies in 2022 and was released quite close to the Winter Men's World Cup. So they're saying that it's about normal. EAFC 24 received a generally favourable response on reviewer aggregate Metacritic. I can't even say those words, with an average score of 73 out of 100. Elsewhere, the ERA said Hogwarts Legacy was the second best-selling game in the UK, followed by Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Modern Warfare 3, not Modern Warfare. Modern Warfare 3.
I mean, initially, my reaction's like, really? EAFC was the most, like, the best-selling?
In the UK,
yeah. I guess that's the main difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm like, Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, I don't think it was on that
Spiderman 2.
There were some big games that came out last year.
But maybe this is the difference that cross-platform makes.
Yeah.
Maybe these games are a little bit more accessible. Hogwarts Legacy came out on Switch just before the end of the year as well.
Yeah.
So that would have given it another push.
I think they did say, EA were really clear to make sure that, like, one of the big sellers of the game was that they had the actual football players from the clubs. And one of the things that they kept when they lost the FIFA branding was the right to use the football players in their game. So that's one of the things that they kept. And it means that basically it's the same game, but we're just out the FIFA branding, basically.
Yeah. I mean, at least advertising-wise,
yeah,
it doesn't particularly look different.
I did look at the case and go, it looks exactly like FIFA. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Our second piece of gaming news is China is set to increase curbs on the video gaming industry. It is set to bring in new rules that would limit the amount of time and money that people can spend on video games. The legislation is a blow to the world's largest online gaming market, which is still recovering from a previous crackdown. The restrictions are aimed at limiting in-game purchases and preventing gaming behaviour. Beijing first brought in gaming rules in 2021 to state that young people under the age of 18 would only be allowed to play for an hour on Friday, weekends and holidays. Under the new regulations, online games must not offer rewards that entice people to excessively play and spend, including those for daily logins and topping up accounts with additional funds. It's strict. I don't know if we ever talked about the fact that if you're under 18 in China, you can only play games for an hour on a
I
weekend.
think we might have mentioned it once.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see if any of you like got an opinion. How would you feel about being told that you're only allowed to play games for 1 hour a week?
I mean,
Or
yeah.
on a weekend.
Is it the sort of thing that actually...
Some of it's...
Is any of our opinion kind of a moot point, I guess? In that we're not in that situation.
Yeah. It's a really interesting one. And also then, like, it's interesting because, like, we have talked about the fact that there needs to be laws to protect people from in-game, from loot boxes and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's, like, some of what they're implementing is about that. So it's not, like, far out, but I think it's just this idea that there's, like, a gaming behaviour.
Yeah, and... It's interesting, isn't it? Because it's really easy to kind of cast aspersions on other cultures and groups of people that we're not part of. I mean, we are not part of that culture in any way, shape, or form, which I guess is the large voice in the back of my head kind of screaming at me right now before I kind of share too much opinion. But when you look at, especially this second batch of regulations, looking at rewards and enticement, actually,
it doesn't sound too...
Well, it sounds understandable.
Yeah.
I guess is what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm like, well...
It's interesting. It's then... So
it's one of the more complex.
Yeah. One of the things that it did do was cause a lot of economic damage to big gaming companies, because immediately they realized they weren't going to be able to sell stuff, and they lost a lot of... I mean, arguably, they could stand to lose some money. It would be fine. They're not going to be poor.
Yeah, but then you've got the... Yeah. It's complex.
It's complex. It's very complex. And it'd be interesting to see if anything sort of comes out of it, I guess. Our final piece of gaming news...
Going from complex
hot topic of the moment. Valve is cracking down on illegal AI use, but stopping games that use AI on the Steam platform. Before any game is allowed on the platform, the makers must fill in a form that tells Valve what kind of game it is. This isn't a new thing. It's not. They've been doing that for years. They now have changed the form so that it has an AI disclosure section where developers explain how a game is using AI and which of two predefined types of AI it is using. The two types of AI are described as pre-generated, which is any content created using the help of AI during the game development, and live generated, which is content created with the AI while the game is running. In both AI categories, the developers must declare that it is not using illegal or infringing content, with live generated AI users having to describe measures that they are taking to ensure the AI is not generating illegal content. It's the thing that's happening.
So I've heard people talk about how this could be the year of AI. Where we see AI make an impact. And I wonder if this is an example of how to treat that and how to deal with AI generated experiences.
There was also something in the news this week, which I didn't include in the news, which also would have been interesting, that there's a thing that came in from voice actors. So the people that voice some of the games have just put in this thing where they're now saying that it's legal for you to go into a booth and record your voice into an AI thing, and then they can use it in different games.
Oh, blimey.
And so your voice could then be used in something that you don't then give permission to use it for. So it's a really interesting thing, because they could use your voice in a way that you haven't said that they are allowed to.
Yeah, I mean,
it was all... That's what happened with the SAG-AFTRA strike in America about actors, and it was a similar thing with actors. But it's come out as part of that is that these actors that are voicing games have been like selling their voices as into an AI bot, and then the AI bot then generates it in the game, and then it's how like the actors that do this were really angry about the fact that they were then not going to get royalties for that, and it was an exclusion that came out of this AFTRA thing. It came out of that. It was
union strike.
Yeah, the actors union strike. It came out of that as an exclusion, and then obviously a lot of the gaming actors were very angry, which is understandable. AI is going to change the way that things respond, how we work.
Yeah. And I wonder if AI is basically the next big thing.
Yeah.
So the last big thing I would argue would be the internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And once upon a time, internet wasn't used as widely as it is now. And I'm probably preaching to the choir. Not saying anything new there.
Yeah.
And it has wildly transformed our lives. I think AI could be the next big thing.
Well, I was reading an article this week about how young people are turning to AI for counselling now, which is a thing.
Ooh, okay.
It's a really interesting little turn.
It makes sense. You know, you at the end of the day, I imagine something like that would be a bot that is there to ask you questions about how you're feeling.
Yeah.
You could argue that actually you're kind of taking away the kind of human connection, the human subtleties, which in-person counselling is very important for. But maybe it kind of lowers the kind of social bar to be able to access that sort of support and to introduce someone to that sort of support. Obviously, there's the issue with if you're in a counselling session, you kind of go into a subject, a thing, and then in theory, a good counsellor should kind of talk you through that and leave you in a place where you're okay to leave and you've managed to deal with it, at least in some way. Whereas if you're using an app on your phone, well, you could just switch off incredibly easy.
Yeah.
So it's not perfect.
AI is, it's changing the way that games are run as well. It's changing the way that we work. It's changing the way, it's changing. So, and like this is designed to try and stop people from putting stuff into their games that they're not supposed to, but because AI has generated something, it is, I'm sure we'll spend quite a lot of this year talking about AI.
I think so.
It is going to be a hot topic. And I can't see it going away in terms of like acting. I can't see it going away in terms of gaming. It's going to have lots of conversations, and there will be new laws probably put into place because of this, because you can now generate people's voices. I'm sure you could generate images of people as well. I think, there needs to be protections around people's copyright and all this kind of stuff, and like their right to use their own voice for things.
It's probably also good to point out that you could generate people's speech from pre-recorded stuff. But the art of doing that requires a lot of editing and lots of categorizing the different ways of pronouncing different words and things like that. That has always been, I say that's always been possible. That's been possible since sound editing has been a thing. But what AI is making, what the difference that AI is making here is the ease and the accessibility to that sort of tech.
It'll be interesting, and I'm sure we'll talk about it more this year.
Indeed. We should probably move on.
And that's the end of gaming news.
Right. So it is New Year. There's
2024.
something new happening within the life of YMCA.
Yes, there is. I'm very excited.
Tell me about space. And it's not, the Final Frontier or anything like that.
Yes, it's not the Final Frontier.
What is space in this context of the
in the
conversation?
context of YMCA. So space is a cafe space that we run in partnership with our lovely friends at South Street Baptist Church. And we run it's like a creative space. It's the reason we called it space was because we just wanted to create space for people to come and have like chilled time, but also have an opportunity to meet people their own age, make some friends, just have a really nice chilled out space for people to just come and feel welcome and feel like they are part of something. And we're doing that on a Wednesday night. It's every other Wednesday, so the next one is not for another 2 weeks. And we run from 6:30 till 9:30 in the Palace Gate Centre. And we're in there, and we're there for a few hours, and we have craft, and we have games, board gamey type things. We also have puzzles. There's like other things going on. Yeah, it's a really nice space. We had our first one on Wednesday. It was very quiet, but hopefully that will be lovely. One? Yeah, it was just really nice to hang out with some people. So yeah, it's really good.
So I've got a few questions.
Yes.
I'm pausing because I'm like, what's the most interesting question to ask next?
Yeah.
So you talked. So it sounds like a community type thing.
Yes, it is.
We're talking about a community type thing on a gaming podcast.
Yes. Why are we talking about community?
Please help me make it make sense.
Yeah. So actually, this came out of a lot of discussions we've had with young people around games, actually.
Right.
And a lot of it is wanting space to game together with other people, but also just having space to like be in somewhere where there are other people their own age. And so what we will have so hopefully the next one we'll have the Switch down there so that people can play Mario Kart and stuff like that. But it's also just an opportunity to come together and do things together rather than on your own individually. And we're not we want to make it a space where people can bring what they want. So if anybody's wants to come and has a real passion for some gaming stuff, we'd love people to bring that with them. So we've got screens and TVs and stuff. We can put that stuff up. So if you've got a console you want to bring, it's just a space where people can bring what they want.
It sounds quite laid back.
Yeah, it's really chilled out. It's really nice. Our lovely friends at South Church have been so welcoming. There's some lovely refreshments. We had some brownies down there last time, some cake.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a really chilled out space. And yeah, we're just welcoming everyone. So yeah.
So if I was to walk in, it sounds like I can expect kind of cake and brownies and stuff.
And refreshment.
I can expect kind of drinks and stuff.
Yeah.
I can expect to see maybe some craft.
Yeah.
Sounds like the Switch is going to be there next week.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that I should expect to see?
Yeah, so you will see my lovely face there. I will be there every time. And you will also see our lovely friend Ross. He's you can't miss him. There'll also be some lovely volunteers as well. And they're all there to be ready to welcome you. It is, it's lovely atmosphere. We have some nice chilled out music playing, got some lovely fairy lights up around the building. I'm hoping that it's just a really warm, welcoming space for people. That's just why it's called Space.
Fantastic. Kind of very much what it says on the tin type.
Yes, it is literally what it says on the tin. It's just a space. Our logo is a little sofa because that's what we wanted to do, is have an empty sofa where people could just come out, sit down, have a nice chilled out time, do some fun things, and yeah.
Fantastic. I'm now going to ask what's possibly going to be the most awkward question of all.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you feel we should talk about in regards to space, in regards to this time every second Wednesday at Palace Gate Centre in Exeter?
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
Is there anything else? I think next. So I will make it clear. Our next space is on the 24th. We'll be there for 6:30 onwards. I think just if you're interested in just having going to meet some people, having some conversations, just having a space to talk to people and be heard, come and find us. We'll be there. So
fantastic. So if, let's say, for example, someone listens to this in, I don't know, March time, and they're like, it's a bit it's not the 24th of January.
It's not the 24th of
coming
January.
up anymore. And they kind of want to check in with someone, kind of find out a bit more information, or find out, is it on this Wednesday? Is it on next Wednesday?
Yeah.
Is it still running? Whatever.
Yeah.
What should they do? Who should they get in touch with to find out more?
Yeah, I mean, so you can get in touch with myself. I'm sure we can put my email address somewhere. Yeah. I'm going to say that Andy's got that skill. But also,
I'll put it in the
just email the office at ymcaexeter.org.uk. They'll pass either your information on to me, or they'll have the dates ready so that they can find out when it is. We're hoping to run at least for a while. So, we'll be around, and it's every other week, just for that purpose. But yeah, it's
fantastic.
Yeah, we'll be around. Yeah,
fantastic. Thank you very much.
And now it's time for Andy's Game of the Week. Andy, what is your game this week?
So over Christmas, there were some sales on. Things happened, and I finally got my act together.
Okay.
And got Spiderman remastered for the PC. I know Spiderman 2 is out for PlayStation 5, PS5, but finally playing the Spiderman game
the original
on the PC.
Spider-Man.
Yes, and oh my days. You know when you hear someone talk about, or a large group of people talk about how good a game is, and you're like, oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
And you never actually get around to playing it.
Yeah.
And when you finally do, it's like, oh, it's actually not for me, or
disappointed.
Or you're like, why did I wait so long? It's definitely why did I wait so long?
Okay.
This game is an absolute joy to play. I'm only like 20% through so far.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you know what? This is going to be the first game I need to talk about, because it's the game I'm playing over last week.
Yeah.
And, it's like, it's just a good, fun game, It's the sort of game that you can kind of pick up, play for a bit. It's very open world.
Yeah.
You don't have to do the story.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, the more you do the story, the more you unlock and more. That is entirely it, and that is where the joy of it comes in. You can just swing down like the streets of New York as Spider-Man.
That's fun. That does sound fun.
Once you get used to controls, it doesn't take long.
Nice.
It is an absolute, as I said, flipping joy to play, and especially, I guess on PlayStation, it's probably quite cheap now.
Yeah.
And on PC, if you can find it on sale on PC, it's worthwhile picking up.
Nice.
If it sounds like I'm a fan of this game, well, I am.
Good.
Available on PlayStation PC.
Yep.
Find it. I'm gonna keep playing it. I'm probably gonna play Miles Morales next.
I love Miles Morales. He's my favorite Spider-Man. There you go.
That's my
statement on the whole thing.
That's probably gonna be the next game I buy.
Great. Well, that is all we've got time for this week. If you are watching us on YouTube, send us a like. And we, if you are looking for us on social medias, we are at YMCA Exeter and at YMCA Exeter Games. You can find us on all the social medias. It's very fancy.
Yeah.
And we will see you next week.
See ya.